أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. Alhamdulillah, we're back again to reinitiate or restart our programs. I apologize, I was traveling for a while. The topic that I would like to share with you today, and the subject we're in, is adab al-talib al-ilm, which is the manners or etiquettes of the person or the student of knowledge, the one who is seeking knowledge. I will be covering, inshallah, 6 points to seek knowledge for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, nothing else in return. 1, to always travel and seek the knowledge, not the knowledge to come to you. A lot of times we find the time we're in, people where you ask them to join you with halaqah. It's the other way around. Person should seek the knowledge. Adam al-julus wast al-halaqah, for a person to avoid to sit in the middle of the halaqah. Not halaqah like this, but usually when you give a dars and there's a circle, to avoid in the middle, just not to sit in the middle. As a matter of fact, the sunnah is, when Rasulullah used to give lectures, people used to come closer, and he used to encourage people to sit closer. 5, when you give fatwa, to watch out what you're saying, because you may be liable if you don't know what you're saying. And 6, seeking knowledge and ma'asiyah cannot go hand to hand, so you should always avoid sins. Those are the 6 items, inshallah, we're going to cover today. Allah Azza wa Jalla expects us to do anything we do for His sake. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهِ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. Whether it's salah, zakah, sadaqah, hajj, seeking knowledge, anything we do, to do it only for His sake. حديث عمر في الصحيحين، سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Umar radiallahu anhu said that I heard that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that all the deeds are based on niyyah. All the a'mal are based on niyyah. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And everyone achieves and gets and rewards according to his attention. So right now we're sitting here. If some of us, their attention is to pray, they'll get that. If their attention is to seek knowledge, they'll get that. So the moment you set your attentions, the moment the reward, inshallah, starts. To seek knowledge and pray and all of that, you will get the whole thing, inshallah. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَيُصِيبُهَا امْرَأَةٌ يُنْكِحُهَا فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. And this hadith describes, welcome Imam Nadeem. This hadith describes that when Rasulullah migrated from Mecca to Medina, the companions did migrate. Some of them had attention also to marry. So Rasulullah said, those of you who had attention to marry, you will be rewarded for the marriage. That's the reward. All what you travel for is to meet that girl. That's all your reward is. So you have to clarify your attention also. Another hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah, سمعت Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam يقول, he said, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, إن أول الناس يقضى يوم القيامة. One of the earliest or the first people that Allah Azza wa Jal will judge at the day of judgment, رجل, a man, استشهد فأتي به فعرفه نعمه فعرفها. A man who was a shaheed, he will be called and he will be reminded. And look at the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal. If you come to court, any court today, people has to identify who you are. Are you so-and-so? Are you aware of what you're being charged with? See, that is, what do you think Ta'ala Allah amma yushrikun? The one who created us and created us with that brain. So the day of judgment, he will be questioned and asked. He will ask, are you so-and-so? Are you the shaheed? Are you the one who died for my sake? And the person will say, yes. Allah Azza wa Jalla will say, كذبت, you lie. وَلَكِنَّكَ قَاتَلْتَ. Instead, indeed, you fought. So people will say, the brave man, the good man, the one who knows how to fight. And they said that after you died, people talked about you. And he will be dragged into his face to hellfire. He will be called another person, تَعَلَّمَ الْعِلْمِ. He learned the knowledge, he seeked the knowledge. وَعَلَّمَهُ, and he taught. So he was an only person who was student of knowledge, but he used to teach others. وَقَرَأَ الْقُرْآنِ, or he read the Quran, or he learned the Quran, he will be called and remind who he is. Are you so and so? Are you the Qari? Are you the Alim? He will say yes. So what did you do with my knowledge? Oh Allah, I taught everybody. I read the Quran. I taught the Quran. You lied. وَلَكِنَّكَ, you learned. So people will say the scholar, and they did say the scholar. You learned, so people will say the Qari, and indeed, they called you and they told you the Qari. Isn't it sad that once I remember one of the masajids in Fort Worth, one of the highest Qurra in the world came in this city, in Fort Worth. And it was Ramadan, and he was reciting the Quran. So people liked his qira'ah. So after he finished, they said, can you read one more page for us? And he said, that wasn't the agreement. We agreed this price, and I can't read. And I was witness to that, wallahi. I was witness to that. It's very sad. Travel around the world for that. And you came all the way from Egypt, and you say this, it wasn't worth it. He will also be called, be reminded, were you the rich? Were you the one? Yes. What have you done with the wealth I blessed you with? And he will say, I gave left and right. I did everything any given time. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will say to him that, no, you did that, so people will say, the generous man, and they did that. Huwa jawadun faqad qil. And he will be dragged to his face to hellfire. Another hadith of Abu Hurairah, so we learn that to seek knowledge with good attention. Another hadith of Abu Hurairah, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من تعلم العلم مما يبتغى به وجه الله عز وجل. Whosoever seeks a knowledge and does for the sake of Allah, and he did not learn so he could make money out of it. And if his attention is to make money and he's not to seek knowledge, he will not smell heaven. لم يجد عرف الجنة يوم القيامة. He will not smell Jannah at the day of judgment. Another hadith that has nothing to do with this book, it says they learn the knowledge ليماري بها السفهاء. So they could feel arrogance or proud in front of the not knowledgeable people. Nowadays, think about it. A lot of people, they made the whole knowledge debate form. Do you know the tricky questions? And the more they give you tricky questions, the more you said, MashaAllah, he's knowledgeable. And that's all what they learn. To complicate people, to make them feel they're sophisticated. And that's not the attention that wants to seek knowledge. Second subject we're covering is one to travel out of his way when he's seeking knowledge. And Jabir bin Abdullah narrates that he heard a man, so and so, heard Rasulullah ﷺ said a hadith. So X hadith was mentioned, and he said, who was the one who narrated? And they told him, Abdullah ibn Unaysin. He said, I heard he was very far. فَاشْتَرَيْتُ بَعِيرًا. I bought a camel, which means I buy a car. And I prepare myself. فَسِرْتُ إِلَيْهِ شَهْرًا. I travel a whole month to meet him. حَتَّى قَدِمْتُ عَلَيْهِ الشَّامِ. Till I met him in Sham. He traveled from Mecca or Medina, wherever he was in Hijaz, went all the way to Sham. Okay? Just to meet him. To see him. Some Syria, it could be Syria, it could be Palestine, it could be Jordan, around the area. But mainly Sham, the biggest was Syria area. That's where everybody were. He said, I met the doorman, the door guard, and he said, I asked him, my name is Jabir. And he told him, Jabir want to see you. And he said, is Jabir bin Abdullah want to see me? He said, yes. So that's a companion, he want to meet him. He said, I heard, I had him a long hadith, حديثا بلغني عنك. I heard a hadith أنك سمعت من رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. I heard a hadith that you heard from Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم. Talks about قصاص. فخشيت أن تموت أو أموت. I was afraid that I may die or you may die قبل أن أسمعه. Before I heard. So before I hear that hadith, I did not want to die, or I'm afraid that you may die. Yani time may come. Tell me the hadith. He said, yes. Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم said, يحشر الناس يوم القيامة. People will be brought at the day of judgment. Another narration, al-ibad. عُرَّاتٌ غُرْلَا. While they are circumcised. Buhman, one color. Yani at the day of judgment, Allah will be resurrecting us in one form. We're not different colors. Another narration, he said, they have nothing. That's what he meant. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla will call them and say, أنا الملك, أنا الديان. I am the king. And I am Dayan. Dayan is the best judge Not a judge who knows the knowledge, but a judge naturally, he is just. So Ad-Dayyan is the one, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is the most just. He knows us before He created us, after we're created, what we do, while we're doing, He's watching us. But sadly, at the Day of Judgment, some people will be denying. Imagine at the Day of Judgment, some people will say, this book you're giving me, I don't believe it. They will reject their own book. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, look how just He is. He will say, so what do you believe? What do you believe is just? The only person that, basically he just pointed himself. That's the only thing I believe. He said, if that's the case, I'll show you. He will shut his mouth. Then that's the day that their hands will talk. وَقَالُوا لِجُلُودِهِمْ لِمَا شَهِدتُّمْ عَلَيْهِمْ. They will say, why are you, their body parts, why are you testifying against me? أَنْتَقَنَ اللَّهِ. Allah made us talk, the one who created us. Another ayah, الْيَوْمَ نَخْتِمُ عَلَى أَفْوَاهِمْ وَتُكَلِّمُنَا أَيْدِيهِمْ. So he will get to a level where he says, this book cannot bring me to justice. Look how just he is. أَنَا الدَّيَّانِ وَلَا يَنْبَغِي. Look, beautiful hadith. In a summary, is a long hadith. Allah basically says, today I am the judge. And no one will go to hell while someone from the heaven did something to him. No one will leave and go to hell today while someone else from the heaven did something to him till I give his right. And no one will go to heaven while someone who might go to hellfire, he has done something against them. Or till I judge, no one will pay the price. So even those who go to heaven will not go to heaven till they being brought to justice. What do you think of the Day of Judgment? The day that a goat, the sheep, the one that has, horns, that hit the one that doesn't have, will be brought to justice. Such justice day. And what about if people don't have anything? What will be the exchange in return? He asked, and then he said, Al-Hasanat wa Sayyi'at. The deeds, the bad deeds and the good deeds is the carols back then. So you're not going to go to heaven till you lose some of your hasanat. Because you have done something that may go to hellfire. If you have enough. If you don't have, you have to pay the price and go there. Very just. And you're not going to go to hellfire while you have done something against someone going to heaven till you pay the price for it. In other words, till you be accounted for it before you pay the price. That's why at the Day of Judgment, the group will come, and that group, a man will come. Rasulullah ﷺ said, do you know what's muflis? Do you know who's muflis? They said, muflis is one who doesn't have a dime, no dollar, no dirham. He said, no, muflis is not the one who doesn't have anything. Muflis is the one who comes with hasanat of jibal. You see him with so many prayers, mountains and zakat and sadaqat and good deeds. But he harmed this and he harmed that and steal from this and hit this and backbite that and all of that till he becomes zero. And the only thing left, when still the line is too long, he will be dumbed by all the trash is on him. SubhanAllah, all the bad deeds, others. Because everybody's trying to elevate himself, go out of it. So even if there's nothing left on you, take some of my bad deeds and drop on him. Let him have it. So it's a tough day. People think that they come to the masajid, they are in the first row, they read more Quran than others, they have longer beard than others, they dress nicer, just to take them to heaven. No. What's so good about it? If you have all these things you claim, but you are a bad mouth, you always cuss people, you always angry, you always fight with people, you always backbite people. I mean, you will see a brother who will pray 17 rak'ah. I met one brother one day. He prays 17 sunnah, he just finished. And he slams and talks to a non-Muslim, a new Muslim who just accepts Islam outside. So hard that new Muslim may not come back to the masjid. He said, I don't think I will ever come back to this masjid. Just for a shoe or a way of wearing shoe. Imagine all these 17 sunnah you prayed, you made someone else not to come back to the masjid because of your actions. And how much Rasulullah did to keep people at the masjid? So much so that the guy who's using, urinating in the masjid, he said, let him have it, let him finish. He doesn't want to create crunch. He doesn't want to make him feel that he's threat. So, or a brother who has a tattoo, who just accepts Islam. Brother, haram, you have a tattoo. We expect when they just accept Islam, we expect them to be Muslims like we are. How? It took 13 years to have aqidah, just to build an aqidah in Mecca. How long would it take to keep them straight up? For long it should. We should give that time to them and we should welcome them. But that's side point. When you also wast al-halaqa, in the middle we talked about. What is the proper way for a one to sit? Proper way for a one to sit is to sit how Jibreel said with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فأسند ركبتيه إلى ركبتيه, knee to knee. ووضع كفيه على فخذيه, and he placed his hands on his thigh. Very respectful matter. Also traveling, seeking a knowledge for a travel. We just recite, the purpose I recite those ayat, long ayat, was how Musa alayhi salam traveled. By the way, we have a Somali tea, so let's stick together. That's a lot of tea. Okay. I want you to finish. You asked me so many times, you better have tonight. Okay? We have enough tea that I want you to drink to 2 cups. Okay. Just drink a little bit. Sure. You will remind you, Kenny. How much Musa traveled and how determined Musa was alayhi salam. What did he say? What did he just say? The ayah, what did he say? He made a beautiful statement. He said, I will be traveling when the kid complained. He said, no, we're not going to stop. We're going to walk and travel till I walk 25 years or I meet that man. Was completely determined how much he has traveled. So one should be determined. You will find one that said 12,000 miles I walked. Seeking knowledge. Corner to corner in America, about 4,300 miles. Flat, vertical, the whole world, look at it. He basically walked almost everywhere. Imam Shafi'i walked all the way Yemen, Sham, Egypt, dry everything out. He seek knowledge, like he said, a mother who lost her son. I wish all my body parts be, ears to hear. These words are powerful. It just tells you how determined he was. So one should take spring breaks in summer, and that time you seek a knowledge. Ummah of Iqra, how much do we read? We don't. You complain the white man is taking the whole world. Look how much the white man reads. Go take a plane flight, go to a back home. Look. Every Arab or non-Arab, anyway, anyone other than Americans are in sleep, and when the food comes, we wake up. But all this time, what do? Europeans and Americans read. So I'm saying as a joke, white man, I don't mean anything, but I just want to let you know the fact that they are more successful than most people because they read. From day one, they were reading. That's why they are the leader of the world. So the Ummah of Iqra should be the Ummah that really seeks the knowledge. Look how much he traveled. The companions had that knowledge. Few people will say, if we had some other things to do, if there was no halaqah, this masjid still would be crowded. I promise you. People will be talking personal stories to each other and they will sit and talk. So it's just an environment of, again, that we made it that way, but the sunnah was different. The masjid was a group of halaqat. Everyone had a corner of seeking halaqah from someone. So also a person who is seeking knowledge must not be a person who goes after food. You must not be, if you're a student of knowledge, you don't spend your time all you can eat. You eat little. How do you eat? Based on the sunnah. When I say all you can eat, I know. Those people eat really. They will never, John knows what I'm talking about. That's right. And the shahwa involved and all this will involve. ما ملأ آدمي وعاء شر من بطني. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there is nothing you can feel worse than your stomach. Minimum, a son of Adam should only eat 1/3, drink 1/3, and leave air for 1/3. And look what Musa alayhi salam was told to teach Bani Israel. Take with you a cooked fish and don't open, don't eat. When you lose the fish, that's where you're going to find the man. And he says, لَقَدْ لَقِينَا مِنْ سَفَرِنَا هَذَا نَصَبًا. Oh, we had enough, we were traveling, we're tired, bring the food. They look at the food, they don't have it. He said, I lost it. Then they go back and they found where they lost it, that's where the man was. So it's like to tell them, wherever you do not find food to eat, you'll find food for your brain. So it connects to that. Also, a person should be very careful what he says as fatwa. من أفتي بغير علم, whosoever gives fatwa without a knowledge, he will get the sin of the one he gave the fatwa, because he's going to spread. And whosoever he basically did khayana, and he should be paid for it. So you should not misguide people. And the hadith was also, whosoever says something I didn't say, let him prepare his place in hellfire. So we should watch what kind of fatwa or advice we give to people. Minimum, just say, I don't know. That's what Imam Malik did. He traveled all the way for him, for far distance, a whole month or 2 months. And he asked 40 questions, he only answered 4. That just tells you how they were. Finally, number 6, knowledge and sin cannot go together. They don't go hand by hand. Allah says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهِ. Fear Allah, Allah will give you the knowledge. So knowledge comes, the more taqwa you have. And is also based on how you can learn a lot. But if you don't understand, what good does it do? يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ فُرْقَانًا. Oh, who you believe, if you have taqwa, Allah will open all the furqan for you. What's furqan? Knowing that what's right and what's wrong. If you can understand deeply what you're obligated to do and what you're prohibited, that's enough, the highest you can get. So you'll have clearer vision. With taqwa, you'll have clearer vision of what to do and what not. Rahimahullah, he complained to his. He said, شكوت إلى وكيعي إلى ترك المعاصي وأوصاني أن العلم نور ونور. I complained to Waki'. Had, memories. I lost memories. And he ma'asi. And little part, but some part have feet of a woman. A woman make you lose your memory. No wonder. What you see every day. And barely we cover our eyes or we lower our gazes.